For sure.
Reed.
Dr. Summers, you should have stayed where I left you.
There is a reason why Ash said these words without shame, with malice and cruelty. Because she is a simulacrum and has two separate minds. But let's take a look at the beginning of this story together. Born as a normal child of a normal family in the frontier colony, Ashley Reed understood at an early age that she had been subjected to and all sorts of misfortunes that had befallen him. The only person she had to trust was herself. She only thought of herself until her adulthood, and did not allow anyone to do her any favors. Years passed. She found various jobs. One day a group of mercenaries recruited her for a very delicate job. This task was both challenging and very dangerous. The purpose of the mission was to steal an experimental fuel source being explored in the outland city of the planet Olympus. This fuel source, researched and scientifically studied at Olympus, was of course nothing more than the Brantium element that Dr. Mary Summers, aka Horizon, was working on. In order to fulfill this task given to him by the mercenaries, Dr. Reed knew it was the only way of getting close to Mary Summers. On their space mission together, she tricked Dr. Summers, dropped him into outer space with the space capsule, and took Brantium back to the lab. Taking some of the Brantium to the mercenaries and getting paid for it, Dr. Reed continued to work in the laboratory to continue the projects of the same people that would last for years. Years later, she took a more proficient role in the lab and formed a 9-member group, including Newton Summers, grandmother of our clever friend Watson, Amelie Paquette, grandfather of our protective friend Gibby, Aleki Gibraltar, and of course our great Marvin unit friend, Pathfinder himself, and became the head of this group. In the project they named as Iris Project, they would find a solution to the energy crisis and save the entire planet. It happened as so. They succeeded in producing a new fuel made from the element Brantium. In order to immortalize their happiness, they had a souvenir photo taken for their families. It had been a few days since the photo was taken when Dr. Reed made the final move towards his goal. He took the mercenaries into the lab, broke in like one of them, and tried to steal Brantium-produced fuel in front of all his team members. Pathfinder, who was built to help for the project, wanted to do what he knew best, saving the project and its friends. For this purpose, when she was fighting with Pathfinder, she encountered an obstacle: Watson's grandmother, Amelie Paquette. He had stuck a sword in Dr. Reed's back and saved Pathfinder. But more were coming. The Iris team found the only way to save the fuel, distributing as much fuel to the city as they can to the city, and then using the rest of the lab in order to sacrifice themselves for the sake of saving the future of the project. Some time passed after the explosion. Those who found Dr. Reed's body tried to save her, but the only thing they could do was trapping his mind inside a simulacrum. Reed suffered agony for years in that simulacrum. Dr. Ashley Reed's evil and cruel side embodied as Ash, while his intelligent and vulnerable side fell asleep. Years later, Pathfinder, who forgot everything, found a simulacrum body in the dump. Thinking that the simulacrum they found belongs to someone named Lillian, Horizon, aka Dr. Summers, entered the following source codes into the simulacrum. She was sure that heard the voice of old friend, Dr. Ashley Reed. She was awakened from her sleep. But she was just trying to survive in the simulacrum as a tiny piece of mind. Her remorse did not help, and Ash, who had a wicked and a cruel side, decided to participate in Apex Games to prove that he is stronger and superior to humanity.